Chris, did you have a problem with what LeBron tweeted?
I didn't love it. It's not the worst thing in the world, but look, in some ways, this is actually in LeBron's personality. You know, LeBron has always been willing to give his opponents credit and even wanted them in some ways to succeed, not against him, obviously, but he's always been willing to encourage other players to help them get better, whether they're his teammates or opponents. Even you look at the Draymond Green situation, the incident they had in the finals when Draymond called him the B word. Now they're buddies and Draymond's with Clutch and, you know, it's all good. Even LeBron's willingness to recruit Kawhi and other guys that have been kind of rivals to bring them to play with him. So there's a part of LeBron that views all the players in the league as partners in some respect, especially off the court, when it comes to doing things outside of basketball. But overall, I just don't think this was a good look for him. Now, if after the game, if he were there and he was in the press conference or he was on Zoom and he said, great game, you know, big time shot by Reggie, all I can do is salute him when he does something like that. That would have been fine. But when you tweeted, it kind of came off like he was a fan. And then you throw in the nickname, Mr. October, and that really made it look like he's a fan, not a Laker. And so I get why people were bothered by it and upset. Again, not the worst thing in the world, but I think LeBron should have thought twice before pressing send on this one.
But you hit the nail on the head. This is who he is. This is LeBron. And Chris, the one thing about LeBron, he is actually a fan. He happens to be the greatest fan in that sport, but he is a fan of the sport. And as you mentioned, when guys do things even against him, he will congratulate them. He has no problem. It ain't no it's always he'll give credit and not say what we didn't do. Karis LeVert, he's like, hey, a guy got hot. He blew up our game plan. Whatever we had planned, right. He blew it up. He's going to give credit. And you're right. He looks at all the players in the NBA as a brotherhood. And it's basically us against them. That's the way he's always approached it. And that's the way he's going to approach it. Now, would I have done that? Absolutely not. Nope. You get no kudos from me. Damn, Reggie did us in on that one. I'm going to keep that to myself, Skip. I'm not going to put it out there. But knowing LeBron, Chris, you and I both have followed LeBron for 19 years. He has not one time deviated from who he is as a player nor as a man. So I'm not surprised by this. I'm not surprised by the criticism either. I knew that was coming. But I think you'll also agree with this, Chris, and Skip and I talked about this earlier. Laker Nation has never really fully embraced LeBron, and they never will because they view him as an adversary to Kobe. Anything that's adversarial to Kobe, we ain't having it. We happy to have you on board, but we're not going to put both of our arms. We'll put one arm around you, but we're not going to hug you like we did Kobe.
Now for some real honesty about what happened last night. Can we be 100 about this?
Yeah, we can be 100.
This was LeBron's way of reminding everybody, I wasn't there last night. I did not participate in this game because if he had, there's no way he would have gone home and tweeted about Reggie Jackson.
They wouldn't have lost if he'd have been there.
Okay, you got me. Who knows? They probably would have.
Don't do that, Skip. Don't do that.
The point is that LeBron has ADD, attention deficit disorder. If he's not the story, he's got to make himself the story. How many followers does he have? Like 7 billion or whatever it is. He knows he can just sit at his keyboard, maybe after an unfortunate third glass of wine, because I think he was just sitting at home watching the game. Why he wasn't at the game, I don't know.
I mean, maybe he had a couple of glasses of Caymus. Okay. Who cares, Skip?
Ali LaForce said he was off-site doing rehabilitation, doing treatment. I have no idea. He was at home. He just stayed at home. And so he's got to make himself the story for all the wrong reasons. He knew exactly what was going to happen when he hit send on this. He knew Laker Nation was going to be in an uproar. How dare you? He could have tweeted, congratulations to my squad for fighting back, because they went on a 43-27 run. They were down 17 late in the third quarter, and 43-25 all the way to they had a 1-point lead, right? And then Reggie Jackson happened.
Right.
So there's no reason to congratulate him, because Kobe wouldn't have done that, because nobody else would have done it except for LeBron James.
Kobe would have came in and said, you know what, I'm glad the trade deadline is vastly approaching. All you bums about to get traded. That's what Kobe would have done.
Well, LeBron's done that before in Cleveland.
Hey, Chris, is that what Kobe would have done? You bums can't, none of you bums play. As a matter of fact, get out of my shoes. Everybody that's wearing Kobe's, take them off, because you're not worthy.
Yeah, LeBron once said in Cleveland, we are top-heavy as you know what, thereby dismissing all the rest of the roster. So same idea, right?
Okay. So Kobe would have done it.
All right. So the point was, go ahead, Chris.
Skip, you think that LeBron, you said he knew exactly what Laker Nation was going to say to his tweet. You think he was trying to upset Laker Nation?
Well, he just knows that he makes himself the center of attention after a game he didn't even play in, and it's for the wrong reason, but he can't help himself. He knows exactly, if I hit send, everybody's going to go crazy. And I don't care, because I haven't been playing. What's he missed, 5 games now?
Everybody know. Had LeBron been there, we'd have won. Had LeBron been there against Atlanta, we'd have won. We'd have won like 5 or 6 games, and we'd have had a positive record now.
One other point before I hand it back to you, Chris. Remember, Laker Nation's on edge right now. They're rubbed raw, because you realize in the last 37 games against the team in the basement at what used to be Staples, the Clippers, that they have lost 30 out of the last 37 games against the Clippers. They've lost the last 5 against the Clippers, and LeBron is sitting at home congratulating a Clipper on beating the Lakers. Are you kidding me?
And guess what we got the Clippers don't have?
Nothing.
A ring.
Oh.
When the last time the Clippers got one of them? In the last 37 games.
Okay, well, look what happened last night. You had AD, you had Russell Westbrook. They didn't have Kawhi, they didn't have Paul George, and they still beat you.
Well, that's what I'm mad about. So you mad about a tweet. That's what I'm mad about, Chris Broussard, because what did they tell us? If one of the superstars is out, we got 2 that can carry the team. Now, I'm not mad about the tweet. Everybody mad about the tweet. You should be mad about that we had 2 superstars, they got none, and they beat us.
I tell you what, though, there's a silver lining in what you saw last night.
Where is that?
And that was AD. It's AD. 830 and what do you have? 17 rebounds. And the last 4 games, AD has been great. He's been averaging like 30 and 12, 2.5 blocks. And the great thing is he's doing it inside. Yesterday, 9 of his 12 shots he made were dunks. He's only taken like 6 threes in the last 4 games. So if AD continues to play like this and LeBron comes back and takes off where he left off, the Lakers are going to be dangerous. I'm not saying they definitely win in the West, but they will be dangerous if LeBron and AD are playing at this level. We've been saying all year, as much as Westbrook's been criticized, that AD has to step up and be the AD from the bubble. And he has been the last 4 games. We'll see if he continues it.
Yeah, but Chris, how do you explain that AD was AD last night and they fell behind by 17 at home to a Clippers team without their 2 best players? And it took Russell Westbrook turning into not Westbrook in the fourth quarter, because Russ started making shots. He made 5 shots in the fourth quarter, and all of a sudden they charge back in and they take briefly the lead until AD missed the last runner in the lane that could have won the game. So how do you explain, as overpowering as he's been, 30 and 17 with 7 offensive rebounds, you still fell behind by 17? That's a bad sign.
Yeah, well, to me, it's 2 things. One, AD is the second guy. He really, when he was in New Orleans, putting up these numbers every night. They made the playoffs twice in 7 years. So his great play doesn't necessarily equate to you winning. And then secondly, the other guys, their defense on that last play, the Reggie Jackson move. You know, I mean, Westbrook's defense was atrocious.
It was
all right, he
laughable.
split both of them, him and Reeves with the spin move.
Yeah.
But
And so the
Reeves got
other
him cut off,
habits are
Chris.
still bad.
He did what he was supposed to do.
He got him cut off. He cut
Right,
him off.
Reeves did a
baseline.
good job. And if Russ gets there,
Thank you.
they should shut Reggie down and trap him in the corner. But here's the thing, and look, the standard's been lowered for the Lakers. And I've said all year, as bad as they look, they got a puncher's chance. And the puncher's chance is if AD and LeBron are playing at the top of their games, you have to give them a shot. All the other problems, the age, the lack of shooting, the lack of defense, defensive focus, Russ's issues, those are problems. But if you have LeBron and AD, that still gives you a heck of a right hand. And that's what the Lakers have to count on. I think Russ is counting on that. You saw his quote from a couple of days ago. Hey, we just get in the playoffs, everybody's 0-0.
Okay, we'll get in the playoffs.
He knows, like, let's just get there and then take a shot. Swing for the fences. And LeBron and AD give you a heck of a stroke.
Hey, Chris, that's like me being in the Northeast right now under that blizzard. Man, once I get to Cancun, it's going to be all sun. But I'm right here right now. You not in the playoffs. You not even in the play-in.
So, Shannon
They're not
Sharpe.
in yet. What are they, ninth? They in the play-in.
They're about ninth or 10th, I think.
Okay, give me a quick response here. Am I to expect that LeBron James is going to leave his home keyboard and actually participate in a basketball game tomorrow night against the Knicks at the Crypt?
We see how we feel.
We see how we feel with that swollen knee.
Skip.
Swollen?
Hold on.
That's a bad sign.
Now, you let Tom Brady say his knee was swollen. You like, oh, my goodness.
He won a Super Bowl on a torn MCL.
And you believe that?
I do believe that.
Okay.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.